So let's get into it. Today, we're going to break down one of the oldest, most powerful, and honestly, most misunderstood forms of storytelling there is, the tragedy. I mean, have you ever really stopped to think about it? From ancient Greek plays to the latest prestige TV show that everyone's binge watching, we are completely glued to stories about powerful, important people who lose absolutely everything. What is it about watching a train wreck in slow motion that we just can't look away from? You know, the biggest misconception is that a tragedy is just any old story with a bummer of an ending. But that's not it at all. A real tragedy is so much more than that. It's a precisely engineered machine built to explore not just that things went wrong, but exactly how and why. Yeah, at its heart, a tragedy is basically a deep dive into what it means to be human. It's this structured way of asking the biggest questions out there. What are our absolute limits? How do the choices we make, especially the tough moral ones, actually shape our lives? And what happens when those choices lead to consequences you just can't take back? And to really get our heads around this, we've got to go back to the guy who literally wrote the book on it, Aristotle. In his Poetics, he called tragedy an imitation of an action. That's key. It's not just showing sadness for sadness's sake. It's recreating a series of events, of actions, in a way that shines a light on some universal truth about all of us. All right, so let's start with our first ingredient, the absolute centerpiece of the whole thing, the hero. Because the entire tragic engine is built around this one complex, compelling person. Okay, so a tragic hero isn't some mustache-twirling villain, but they're not a perfect saint either. They're usually someone important, a king, a CEO, a general, which means when they fall, they don't just fall alone. They take the whole kingdom or company down with them. And most importantly, we have to see ourselves in them. They're admirable, sure, but they have a flaw, a big one, that feels uncomfortably familiar. And that flaw? It has a name. Hamartia. Now, this isn't just a bad habit like biting your nails. Think of it as a fundamental error in judgment. It often comes from having too much of a good thing, like pride that becomes arrogance, or ambition that becomes ruthless. It's that one critical crack in their character that, under pressure, is going to bring the whole building down. Okay, so we've got our flawed hero. Now we need the vehicle that's going to drive them right off a cliff. And that's the plot. In a tragedy, the plot is anything but random. It's a perfectly calibrated machine of cause and effect. Aristotle actually called the plot the soul of tragedy. And that's such a perfect way to put it. It means every single thing that happens must be a direct result of what came before it. There are no lucky breaks, no coincidences to save the day. The story moves forward with this terrifying, unstoppable feeling of inevitability. And this whole unavoidable sequence kicks off with that one error, the hamartia. That single bad decision starts a domino effect that leads to two absolutely devastating moments that are always linked, the reversal and then the recognition. Peripeteia. This is the point of no return. It's that gut punch moment where everything flips on its head. The hero, who is flying high, suddenly finds their entire world turned upside down. The secret gets out, the battle is lost, the tide has turned against them, and there is no coming back. And almost immediately after that reversal comes the anagnorisis, the recognition. This is that moment of awful, crystal clear understanding. The hero finally sees the whole ugly truth. They realize their flaw, they see their mistake, and it dawns on them that they, and nobody else, are the architect of their own ruin. So, we've built our tragedy. We have the flawed hero, the inevitable plot that crushes them. Which brings us back to that first question. Why on earth do we, the audience, willingly sign up for this? What's the point of watching all this carefully constructed suffering? Well, first, we got to be clear about what tragedy isn't. It's not melodrama. Melodrama gives us easy answers. Here are the good guys, here are the bad guys. But tragedy lives in the messy, moral gray areas. It forces us to empathize with complex people making impossible choices, so their downfall feels earned and inevitable, not just like a case of bad luck. And watching this complex, inevitable downfall leads to the whole point of the experience, catharsis. By watching the hero's story unfold, we feel two key emotions, pity for what they're going through and fear that, oh man, I could totally make a mistake like that. Aristotle believed that by experiencing those emotions in a safe space, we kind of purge them. We walk away feeling a sense of clarity, of insight, and maybe even a little emotional balance.
I mean, this formula is so incredibly powerful that it has survived for thousands of years. It's constantly evolving, from ancient religious rituals all the way to the stuff we stream on our phones today.
Back in ancient Greece, tragedies are a huge part of civic and religious life. Then you get to the Renaissance, and it becomes all about individual ambition, psychology, and court politics. And now, in the modern era, the tragic hero isn't always a king. It can be an ordinary person, crushed under the weight of society itself. So what does that tell us? It shows that even when the costumes and the settings change, the things we're wrestling with are exactly the same. We're still grappling with suffering, still trying to figure out who's responsible when things go wrong, and we are absolutely still searching for meaning in all the chaos. And that kind of leaves us with one last thing to chew on. Think about the stories you love right now, the movies, the shows, the books. Who are the great, flawed characters whose downfalls we can't get enough of today? And what do their stories say about us, right here, right now? Who do you think are the tragic heroes of our time?